keeps moving. So I made some big progress today. I was stalled for a while, mainly being lazy, but the two issues I was having, first, I could not get the contactors to close on the battery controller, and so when they wouldn't close, I would not have output voltage and I couldn't test my controller and throttle. The issue ended up being not this gray data cable, but internal, the harness here that connects all of them in series. There was a broken pin on there, and so this was essentially seeing something's wrong. I'm not going to give power, which is good. That's what it's designed to do as a safety measure. And so eventually got that worked out, and now it's working properly. Contactors are closed. Second issue I had was I went to try and activate the throttle on the potentiometer up here. And so I pressed the gas, and right away, pop, a fuse blew. And in my earlier video where I was talking, it's super helpful to have these light up. Right away what lit up was BMS. And so actually I used to also have the potentiometer connected to here. So for a second I was worried, like, oh, I blew the fuse on the BMS, I might have damaged this. Ended up being okay. I just was dumb and wired this incorrectly, and it shorted it inside, and it blew the 5 amp fuse, so not too much power got in there. It didn't damage this. I looked at the wiring diagram, routed it properly. I actually don't even need to supply 12 volt power. 12 volt comes from the key, like my previous video. And both of those were resolved. So now I'm going to show a starting sequence test to see if we can get the motor spinning. I also want to check, will the car charge? And that would test all of my circuit here, my charge enable output, my relay. So it's showing that both contactors are closed. I will check the temperature. It says temperature is 7C. I'm pretty sure that's a max temperature measurement. It'd be best to go in and see all the individual temperatures, but I know it's like 50 degrees today. Pretty low chance that the cells are below, any cells are below freezing. I can adjust the charge enable parameter in there for that temperature range. I will do that, but for this test, I know we're safe, I know we're good. So this is just a standard J1772. I charge my Hyundai Ioniq 5 I just got. So let's see if the same charger will work. So I'm going to open up here and plug in. That's good. Right away the fan's turned on for the charger. These are staying as they should. I heard another switch flip. Are we drawing power? Oh, we're drawing 1.4 kilowatts and climbing. .2 looks like it's steady out at 2.2. And let's see what this says. 1.94. So there's some efficiency losses there. Looks like about 90% efficient. 14 amps to the battery. We're charging. This is awesome. All that's wired correctly and it works. So I'm getting about 2 kilowatts charge rate. This is a 30 kilowatt hour battery. That would take 15 hours to fully charge, which isn't great. But I can always upgrade later and get a 3 or a 6 kilowatt charger to be able to charge much faster. But with this being kind of a classic car, I don't see myself depleting the battery on a regular basis and having range anxiety and needing to catch up with charging all the time. This will work for now. This battery percentage is not accurate. I need to set that. I think it's at about 60-70% state of charge right now. That's also something I'll do with my computer to get an accurate reading here, so I know actually what my percentage is. It defaults at 100% when I turned it on or connected the harness for the first time. So now I know that my breaker, my relay with the charge enable, the EVSE, that is all wired correctly, and I can charge the car. So now I'm going to see, does the throttle work? does the motor spin. Those two green lights, I know I'm good there. I know I have output voltage. But this contactor is not closed because I haven't turned the key. So I'm going to turn the key to position 2, just the first click. Heard that click? That wasn't in here. That was the contactor under the hood. So I know the contactor is closed and the controller has power now. So now we're going to try the throttle. So to be safe, I don't want to just move the car since I'm hanging out of it. So I have this in neutral and the parking brake on. And now I'm just going to touch the throttle, see what happens. If you hear that noise, that's power. I can hear the motor spinning. Those are the brushes. There's an interesting hum at the start. This is awesome. This means that my throttle, my little micro switch on my throttle is working. When I let off, there's no power. Then I have to activate it and spin the motor. And now I'm going to test if my key relay for charging active actually works. So it is charging currently right now. I turned the key switch on. And now I'm going to touch the throttle, and I should not hear anything happen. Nothing's happening. The controller's not turning on, so that safety wiring is correct. I can't drive away while charging. Okay, now I'm going to get in the car and see if it does move. Put the e-brake off. And I'm in 4th gear, which is the lowest torque. I don't want this thing jumping around. I'm going to lightly press the throttle. It's moving. Awesome. It hasn't moved in 6 months. Alright, now I'm going to drive it down the driveway. You can see I barely fit.